We want to welcome everybody that is in support of our training program to our video today. Today we are actually introducing a very large topic, one that is called the queen of the mathematics, elementary number theory. And we are beginning with number cycle with specific reference to the last digit of a number. The Americans say the ones digit, while some people call it the units digit. Let's take for example, if you have the number 528. Now, this is the hundredth unit. And then where you have it as H, this is the tens, and this is the unit digit. Now the question is, how do we find the unit digit when we have numbers that are very large? In fact, with exponent. Let's take for instance, given the number 302 times 411 times 528 times 72. How do we know the last digit after multiplying this number? That's what we want to do today. And for us to do this, we want to begin by studying the number cycle. Let's take, for example, what number cycle is all about. When we multiply numbers and find the exponent of numbers, at the points, the value of the exponent repeats, and we say that the number of times in which that number was multiplied before getting the repeated value is the number cycle. For example, let's take 2 for instance. In the number 2, 2 to the power 1 is equal to 2. That is 2 times 1. Then 2 to the power 2 is equal to 4. 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8. That is 2 times 2 times 2. Then 2 to the power 4 is equal to 16. 2 to the power 5 is equal to 32. If you observe very well, okay, let me take 2 to the power 6, which is equal to 64. Now, let's look at the last digit of the numbers we have here. Here we have 2, 4, 8, 6. And here we have 2, 4. Perhaps the next number will be 8 and then 6 again. So on the fourth time where 2, the power of 2 is taken, the number repeats. Which automatically tells us that the number cycle for 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try for 3 and see what it will give us. For number 3, we have 3 to the power 1, which is 3. 3 to the power 2 is 9. 3 to the power 3 is 27. 3 to the power 4 is 81. 3 to the power 5 is 243. And 3 to the power 6 is 729. Now let's check. The last digit of the number 3 here in this power. So we have 3971. Then we have 39 again, meaning that it would have continued repeating 3971, 3971 like that. So it means that after 4 times, the power of 3 repeats. So we said that the number cycle for 3 is also 4. Now, since we have 2, we don't need to find number cycle for 4. But let's look at 5. So 5 index 1 is 5. 5 index 2 is 25. 5 index 3 is 125. 5 index 4 is 625. You observe that the last digit is always 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Meaning that irrespective of the power of 5, the last digit will always be 5. So the number cycle for 5 is 1. Now let's look at 6. We have 6 to the power 1 is 6. 6 to the power 2 is 36. 6 to the power 3 is 216. And you can see that 6 continues throughout, meaning that the number cycle for 6 is 1. Now let's look at 7. So we have 7 index 1 to be 7. 7 to the power 2 is 49. 7 to power 3 is 343. 7 to power 4 is 2401, right? And then if you look at 7 to power 5, 7 will actually repeat again because to multiply the next number, that would be 7 times this number, and 7 times 1 is 7. Meaning that the number cycle for 7 is also 4. How about 8? So we have 8 times 8 index 1 is 8, 8 index 2 is 64, 8 index 3 is 512. And it continues like that, giving us that the number cycle for 8 is also 4. And then for 9, 9 index 1 is 9, 9 index 2 is 81, 9 index 3 is 729. You can see 9 repeats again here, meaning that number cycle for 9 is 2. Now, how do we apply these number cycles? It makes it far easier for us to identify the last digit of a number if we know the number cycle. Let's look at it again. For 2, 3, 7, and 8, they are all 4. And then for 5 and 6, we have them as ones. And then for 9 is 2. So I'm going to wipe this off. Please, can you take time to pause the video in your own place and then copy this so that it will help you in solving the problems that come next. Let's take some examples in solving problems. So let's take an example in finding the last digit of a number. Find the last digit of the number 207 times 781 times 39 times 94. Now, when you are given a number like this, where we have products of several numbers of more than one digit, we take the last digit of each of these numbers, multiply them, and keep on finding the last digit. In this case, our solution, we are going to pick the last digit of each of these numbers. So we are going to have 7 times 1, then times 9 times 4. Now 7 times 1 will give us 7. 9 times 4 will give us 36. And then 7 times the last digit here, which is 42. And that leaves us with the last digit of this number to be 2. Let's take another example. But before I take the next example, I want to explain that if the unit digit of the number we want to find ends with 0, 1, 5, and 6, then the resultant unit digit remains the same. That simply means for a number, let me call the example 2. So for a number like 5, 7, 6, let's take to the power 1151. Because we are dealing with 6 whose powers are always the same, because the number cycle for 6 is 1. It means that in this case, the unit digit will be 6. Now let's look at another number, 155. Then let's set to power 121. Because in this case, the last digit here is 5, just like the last digit here was 6, the number remains. It implies that the unit digit will still be 5, because the last digit here is 5. Let's take a number like 191 to the power 244. In this case, because the last digit here is 1, that means the unit digit will be 1. Let's look at another number, a number like 900 to the power 504. Because the last digit here is 0, means that the unit digit after simplifying these values um, is still going to be 0. So as I said earlier, for the numbers 0, 1, 5, 6, whatever powers the number that ends with them is, like in the examples on the board, the last digit that we call the unit digit will always end with the same value, that is 0, 1, 5, or 6. So I want to thank everybody here for watching this, and then be ready for the next video that will take more examples. Thank you so much.